It's Thursday, May 28th. I wanted to do a garden update, and I figured I'd walk up there from the house to provide some context of where the garden's at relative to the house. Got a couple different trails crisscrossing. One up to the driveway that's kind of overgrown. This is the main one we walk. One that cuts down below the house and across the backyard and down to the river. I had some wild ramps growing in here, but they're all have died back. It's pretty flat until up around the corner here where it really starts to climb. Spiders just starting to come back out. Makes this walk a little more interesting in the summer. I normally bike up here. I'll load like 4 liters of water, or a bunch of water and snacks and whatnot, and bike up this hill, which is hard. We've been trying to put down wood chips and like erosion control measures to keep this from eroding. I haven't had much time to focus on that recently, but it's pretty well in check now. We did this one, like felled a tree, or kind of positioned a tree across here, which is pretty good about diverting any runoff. Whew. Okay, almost up. If we drive up here instead of walking, we park up at the corner there. Okay. So I haven't done much with this lower section. I just this year put in these 3 purple flowering raspberries, which are shade tolerant or need shade. I've got a little fire pit here which we haven't used in a while. Plants growing in it. A couple chairs. We've put down wood chips here to level this out. And I guess I added some stuff in this lower section this year. A bunch of pawpaw trees that are all pretty small. But pawpaws in this kind of shadier spot. Some currants along there. We had groundhog problems last year, so I rolled these stumps up and put like herbs on the stumps to keep them out of the groundhog's reach. He was living in my neighbor's woodpile over there, or it was a whole family actually, but no sign of them this year. So the stumps are kind of pointless, but this pawpaw died. Potato, currant, potato, hazelnut, potato, currant, potato, some herbs, some blackberries, comfrey. There's an elderberry that's starting to flower. Some bush cherries, beach plum, aronia, potato, another elderberry. It's crazy how much this guy's grown. This entire stalk is new growth from this year that just shot up. Actually all these, last year's growth is like barely 2 feet tall. So all this is from this year. Same deal on this guy, I think. Like last year's stems, there's 1 stem from last year, but all the rest are new. Raspberries, it's our compost pile, or bin. Bush cherries, potatoes, gumi. These gumis are all fruiting, although the birds are getting to them. 3 more hazelnuts, fig. New shoot on this guy. Pawpaw, another fig. Juneberry, bush cherry. Hopefully these Juneberry fruits don't look, some of them are kind of like wrinkled and diseased looking. I don't know what's going on there. A new cherry to replace one that died. An old cherry, or well, 2 years old, that has some cherries. Small, but not all that healthy looking. This is a sweet cherry and this is a sour cherry. Pawpaw, potato, little tiny Juneberry, Goomy, mulberry, Illinois everbearing mulberry, I believe, or something like that. A bunch of wildflowers in these swales. Is that nettle? Maybe. I planted a bunch of pawpaw seeds 2 years ago, and they didn't do anything last year, but this year they're all coming up. It's interesting. They're like, what, 20 tiny little pawpaws. The wild variety that I just harvested from the woods. There's another cultivated pawpaw. This is one of the few pawpaws that's actually doing well. Maybe 2.5 feet tall, 2 feet. Mulberry. Potatoes are kind of just like sprinkled in halfway in between all the stuff on top of the swales. It's another Juneberry. I think it's the same variety as, or same species as that guy. I put in some lavender this year, 2 little tiny lavender guys. Some rhubarb. Put in some eggplants yesterday in here. My neighbor had some extra eggplant stuff she sprouted. This is a jujube, or Chinese date. Yarrow. This yarrow looks real nice. Potatoes. This guy's all flopped over. Goomy. This is one of the goomies. The birds are loving this guy. But they are getting pretty much all the ripe fruit before me. You want them like bright red. No, I don't see any bright red ones. This is Anise hyssop, 2 of those. Oh, cool, that guy's flowering. That's a development. Another jujube, bunch of carrots that are all 2nd year carrots, just about to flower. This vetch stuff like crawls all over everything. Vetch, and also Morning Glory, the other crawling guy that you gotta stay on top of the weeding, or else like in a day that Morning Glory can grow like a foot. Autumn olive, an amber autumn olive. Put some comfrey root cuttings in various spots along here. They're just popping up. Persimmon. These are all squashy things. Some germinating faster than others. So this bed, this like lower half has all popped. This is watermelon and they haven't come up yet. And this is cucumber, and they're like just only a couple of them starting to pop. 3 bush cherries, another different species of bush cherry, little small guy. Bush cherry, Aronia, bush cherry, some garlic. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 garlics in here. There's a peony that I've mowed over like 10 times and it keeps coming back. This variety of bush cherry will not freaking stay upright, but some fruits on it, but very floppy growth habit. Although I think once these new it'll be bushier next year and hopefully hold up better. I put in 8 new blueberries this year, I think, is one of the new guys. Again, potatoes kind of scattered all over the place. Blueberry, garlic, blueberry. This is some wildflowery thing. I forget what. I should know that. Blueberry. Even the new ones are looking pretty good. Garlic, 2 currants, a black locust, monster blueberries, 6 of those. Those were the existing ones. In here, that tall thing down there is French sorrel. There's fennel, tons of arugula, obviously. Radish. Like there's some pink flowers over there that are radish. This is all onions. Some fennel creeping in. Yeah, the fennel's reseeding everywhere. I need to get in here and weed. Here's Morning Glory climbing up over my onions. Some extra potatoes I had that I popped in here. These beds are a mess, but whatever. Once the arugula produce seed, I'll probably start over on those beds. It's like a bramble patch, a bunch of blackberries and raspberries and stuff. 3 more gummies that also have berries, although the birds, there's one that's like decently ripe. Not quite there though. Blueberry. This guy's like heavy with fruit. Some swamp milkweed in this like swampy section. Some daylilies, a couple sorrels, weedy stuff. And then here some more of the new blueberries. This guy's kind of in the shade, so he's not doing quite as well as the rest. This guy's loaded. And all this whole right half is all new growth. So like, what, 3.5, 4 feet tall of new growth? Get out of my hair. Some like blackberries scattered in here. Currant. The currants are just starting to get close. Blackberry, blueberry again. Currant, I say currant. Currant, gooseberry, jostaberry, various things in the ribes genus. Currant. There's a pawpaw in here, blackberry. This GoPro's getting freaking hot. Brambles. This one I know is a jostaberry. This is a gooseberry with the little stripy guys and thorns. These ones are pretty ferocious. Like the thorns are, yeah, pretty sharp on that guy. I think that's a black currant. Currant, jostaberry, currant. This guy's also super spiky, but definitely getting close on the fruits on all these currants. A honeyberry, which the birds have also discovered. There's one in the back there. That one looks all right, actually. Kind of like a tart blueberry. Locusts or cicadas or whatever, molting recently. I think that's what that is. This is an autumn olive. Bunch of tomatoes. 8 tomatoes and 8 peppers, bell peppers. Some more like comfrey minis. Potato. This is a Monarda bee balm. I have 4 of those, I think. An American persimmon, Monarda. Some more grapes. Blackberry. Another American persimmon. I don't know why this guy looks kind of off. Another Monarda bee balm. This is like a hybrid American Asian persimmon, and that guy is an Asian persimmon. This one's doing real well. This is hollyhock, I think, which is kind of like towering over my persimmon. I probably had to cut that back. Another gumi with far fewer berries than it had yesterday, thanks to the local grackles. I don't see any berries. They're in there, you just gotta look for them. Another Juneberry. I think we'll get some berries on these. They're not as like plump. They should be like plump, juicy blueberries, but they're kind of like dried and shriveled. Another gooseberry, I believe. Potato. Little mini Juneberry. What else? This is another one of those floppy bush cherries. Pawpaw looking pretty good. Cross over. This is another Juneberry. Bunch of Juneberries. Juneberry. Tons of Jerusalem artichoke. Juneberry. There's a little mini Juneberry on the far side of the J-chokes. Honeyberry. There's a fucking fly like in my hair. Another honeyberry. I think they're mostly done. They're the first thing to fruit, and they're pretty much wrapping up. A couple currants. God, I can't freaking honeyberry. Honeyberry, another honeyberry. It's a honeysuckle relative with berries. This year I put in three goji berry. It's one of the three. This bed's all currants mostly. Lots of fruits on this guy. Looking for more honeyberry fruits. There's another honeyberry. Again, they're pretty much done. And we didn't get too many of them this year. My plan is to overwhelm the birds with more fruit than they can handle. But I don't know if that strategy is going to work. This is a pear. These pear trees are a mess, but they produced a ton of pears last year. Here's another goji berry. We probably had like 4 big pear trees and probably left like 200 pounds to rot. I don't know, there was a ton. There's a new fig. Some comfreys scattered around the front, which the bees love. 5 new honeyberries. This guy's doing pretty good. Some of the others are a little small. These guys came in as bare root, like maybe like 4-inch tall little minis. So it's cool that that one's already like 10 times bigger than it was. This is a raspberry that's not doing so well. I'm not sure what's up with that. Gumi, bush cherry, put in a new bench a couple weekends ago. This is a plum with pretty nice looking plums. Also some not so nice looking plums. Not bad though. Bush cherry, comfrey, another plum, looking pretty good. Currant, Asian pear. This is a new Asian pear, but already has tons of fruit. Another currant. This is a peach with lots of peaches all over it. Another currant. Here's the third goji berry. Asian pear, which had tons of fruit last year, but I think we had a windy day and like all the flowers got blown off the sky. I don't see any fruit. Currant. Another Asian pear. This one does have some fruit, not a whole lot. These guys did super well last year, but I don't know, not as well this year. Currant, 3 blackberries, currant, bush cherry. There's just, I mean, basically stuff. Big ol' pear. 2, these are new apples. This is a Honeycrisp, I think. Or no, Gala, sorry. Gala. This is a Honeycrisp. And then Macintosh. And another Honeycrisp down there. Bunch of bush cherries, currants, gumi. I think this is a nectarine, which I don't know if it's even flowered this year. No, we haven't had any fruits ever on that one. This is a nectarine that's huge. This one's grown a ton. It's got big old nectarine things, but it's also got, I think it's called like peach leaf curl disease. It's got some, I need to spray it if I want to. I'm not going to, but yeah, it's not super healthy. So we may scrap that particular cultivar. Apple, a couple more pawpaws, little mini guys down here. That's pretty much it. Let's see, asparagus over there. Here's some more raspberries. Yeah, I think I walked past these, but big bed of asparagus. That's all. Man, look at that guy. He's like 8 feet tall, but they're all leaning over. It's all right. There's nothing for them to lean on. Here's the morning glory that climbs up everything. It's really a pain in the ass. You have to like kind of untangle it. And it's hard to see, but like, well, there are swales or ditches on contour along here that are fully, I don't know, it's maybe like 1.5 feet deep, but it's all filled in with wildflowers and weeds. But yeah, the idea is there's one along the top end of those blueberries that I walked above earlier, then this middle guy, which we're walking over now. And each one has like an overflow point down to the next one. There's some leftover carpeting beneath that blueberry. Still haven't gotten out all of that. A couple more tiny pawpaws here, getting swallowed up by chickweed. So yeah, like here's a overflow point where that middle one can flow into this guy, and then same deal down. That's pretty much it. Some onions in this guy. It's freaking, well, humid. I don't know if it's fair to call it humidity when it's basically raining, but it's wet out here. Bunch of arugula in here. That's kind of it. Big old dead ash tree that I'm hoping will come down in small pieces instead of crunching the whole lower half of the garden. And then the shed and the trail back down. That's all. Goodbye.